If I told you that something you've trusted for years, like a simple daily pill, might not be as helpful or as safe as many of us once believed, would you believe it? For a long time, aspirin was treated like a quiet protector of the heart, yet more and more people are being told to stop taking it. So why is that happening? In this video, I'll share what I found in the clearest way possible, and remember, the most important insight is waiting for you at the very end. 6. What aspirin is and why it used to be so popular. And something many people don't realize is that aspirin isn't just about understanding what it does inside the body, but it's also about the everyday habits that make it safer or riskier without us noticing. A lot of seniors think bleeding appears suddenly, but in reality, the stomach becomes more sensitive with age. Doctors from Mayo Clinic often explain that taking aspirin with a small meal or even a few bites of food can soften its impact on the stomach lining. It isn't a perfect solution, but it reduces irritation, especially for people who easily experience heartburn or discomfort. Another thing that surprised me is how many supplements behave like mild blood thinners without being labeled that way. Fish oil, turmeric, ginger, garlic capsules, and even vitamin E can thin the blood more than people think. When those are added on top of aspirin, the total effect can become stronger than intended. That's why reviewing your daily supplements, even the ones you've taken for years, is one of the simplest ways to avoid unnecessary bleeding risks. Hydration also plays a bigger role than most people expect. The Cleveland Clinic has mentioned that when the body is dehydrated, the stomach lining becomes more vulnerable. That means aspirin can feel harsher, causing irritation that might not appear on days when you drink enough water. Just keeping a steady hydration routine can make aspirin feel gentler and reduce those stomach surprises that catch people off guard. Many seniors also take pain relievers like ibuprofen without knowing that it can interfere with aspirin's intended effect. Ibuprofen can block aspirin's ability to protect the heart if taken too close together. Some doctors recommend spacing them out or taking aspirin first, but the best approach is always to check with your physician. Even a small timing adjustment can protect aspirin benefits while avoiding unnecessary strain on the stomach. What helped me most was learning that no one should assume they automatically need aspirin after 60. A simple conversation with your doctor about plaque screening can provide real clarity. Some people get a coronary calcium scan and discover almost no plaque at all, meaning lifestyle care is enough. Others find early signs that aspirin could genuinely help. Knowing which group you're in makes all the difference. Even paying attention to small warning signs can protect your health. Dark stools, unusual bruising, constant fatigue, or new stomach pain are all early signals that shouldn't be ignored. They don't always mean something is seriously wrong, but they are the body's way of asking for attention before a bigger problem appears. What all of this shows is that aspirin is not just a pill, it's a routine, a daily habit. And like any habit, it becomes safer when it's paired with awareness, hydration, gentle meals, supplement check-ins, and open conversations with your doctor. These small adjustments help you keep the benefits while lowering the risks, something especially important after 60 when the body changes faster than most of us realize. 5. What changed in 2022 and why so many people got confused? The real turning point in how people view aspirin happened in 2022, when major health organizations updated something many seniors had believed for decades. The U.S. Preventive Services Task Force officially announced that daily aspirin should no longer be used for heart attack prevention in older adults who have never had heart disease. For many people, this felt like the opposite of everything they had been told, but the reasoning behind the change is clearer than it seems. According to the USPSTF and the American Heart Association, the main issue is bleeding risk. Aspirin can thin the blood, which is what makes it helpful for certain clot problems, but that same effect is also what increases the chance of stomach bleeding or intestinal bleeding, something that becomes more common with age. Studies published by Mayo Clinic also show that older adults naturally experience changes in the stomach lining, making it easier for aspirin to cause irritation or microbleeds over time. This shift doesn't mean aspirin suddenly became harmful. It simply means researchers now understand that the balance of benefits and risks looks very different depending on whether someone already has plaque or has had a heart event. For seniors without those conditions, the protective effect is much smaller than once believed, while the bleeding risk stays the same or even rises. So what can seniors do right now? One helpful step is reviewing your medication list, including over-the-counter supplements, to make sure nothing you take already thins the blood. Another is talking with a doctor about whether plaque is present, instead of assuming aspirin is still a universal preventive tool. Many clinics now recommend coronary calcium scans or carotid ultrasounds to better understand real risk rather than relying on age alone. If you're still watching, feel free to leave a quick comment so I know you're following along. Now that we understand why guidelines change, it's easier to see how one major misconception has misled millions, especially when it comes to what a healthy test result actually means. And that brings us to the next point, the misunderstanding around blockages and why so many heart attacks happen before anyone sees trouble on a scan. 4. The big misunderstanding about blockages and healthy test results. One of the biggest misunderstandings many of us grew up believing is that arteries only become dangerous when they're more than 50% blocked. For years, I thought the same thing, but the more I learned, the clearer it became that this idea is far too simple. The real danger often comes from something most people never hear about: soft, inflamed plaque. Unlike the hard, obvious plaque that shows up on scans, this softer type behaves very differently inside the body. Soft plaque isn't stable. It can act like a sticky gel that clings to the artery wall. And the problem isn't how big it is. The problem is how easily it can break open. When that happens, the body rushes to patch the area. And that sudden reaction can form a clot big enough to block blood flow completely. That's why so many heart attacks happen long before a scan ever shows a major blockage. Several heart specialists in the US have explained this in simple terms. Your arteries don't have to be severely narrowed to cause trouble. In fact, a large number of heart attacks happen when arteries are less than 50% blocked. That's also why stress tests can miss early danger. They only pick up issues once the blockage is big enough to limit blood flow during exercise. Soft plaque doesn't always show up in those moments, but it can still be active, irritated, and ready to rupture. So what can seniors do starting today to reduce this hidden risk? One helpful step is lowering inflammation through simple habits: stable blood sugar, lighter evening meals, regular movement, and keeping stress in check. Another is focusing on foods that support artery lining: Ike, leafy greens, berries, and omega-3 sources, because healthier arteries are less likely to let soft plaque become unstable. Even small daily changes, done consistently, can make a meaningful difference. If you're still watching, a simple like helps the video reach more seniors who need this information. And now that we've cleared up the misunderstanding about blockages, it's easier to see why aspirin doesn't work the way many people expect, especially in conditions like atrial fibrillation. That brings us to the next point: why aspirin isn't strong enough for AFib and what's actually happening inside the heart during those irregular rhythms. 3. Why aspirin doesn't help with irregular heartbeat-related strokes. One thing many people still misunderstand is how aspirin works when someone has an irregular heartbeat. A lot of seniors believe that because aspirin can thin the blood a little, it should help prevent strokes in this condition. But the truth is much simpler. An irregular heartbeat creates a completely different kind of clot, and aspirin just isn't strong enough to deal with it. When the upper chambers of the heart stop beating in a smooth, steady rhythm and instead start shaking or fluttering, they no longer push blood forward the way they should. Because of that, blood can settle in a small pocket inside the heart, called the left atrial appendage. And when blood sits still, it becomes thicker and forms a heavier, deeper clot, very different from the small surface-level clots aspirin is designed to affect. Heart specialists across the U.S. explain that these internal heart clots don't rely on platelets the same way typical clots do. Aspirin mainly affects platelets, so it never reaches the root of the problem. That's why strokes caused by an irregular heartbeat require stronger prescription blood-thinning medicines that work inside the bloodstream, not just on platelets. I once came across a short interview with a retired bus driver from Minnesota named Harold, who always believed his daily aspirin was protecting him. During a hospital visit, he learned that the clot forming inside his heart had nothing to do with the kind of clot aspirin can help with. He said something many seniors feel: "I wish someone had explained the difference earlier." So what can seniors do right now if they live with an irregular heart rhythm or worry they might be developing it? One simple step is paying attention to early signs like fluttering in the chest, unexpected tiredness, or light dizziness. Another useful step is asking your doctor whether a stronger blood thinner is needed and how to manage it safely. Even gentle lifestyle habits can support a healthier heartbeat. Drinking enough water, avoiding heavy late-night meals, and standing or stretching every hour to support circulation. Once we understand why aspirin doesn't work in this situation, it becomes much easier to see when aspirin still has a role and when it truly doesn't. And that's exactly what we're moving into next. 2. When aspirin still has a role and when it truly doesn't. One thing that becomes clear the more you look into aspirin is that it isn't a yes or no pill. It has a role, but only in the right situation. Aspirin can still be useful for people who have already shown signs of plaque or heart disease, because in those cases, the risk of clotting is much higher. That's why many doctors still use aspirin after a heart attack or certain procedures. The benefit is clearer when clot risk is real. But for seniors who don't have plaque, don't have blockages, and have never had a heart problem before, the picture is very different. The protective effect becomes smaller, while the chance of bleeding stays the same or even increases with age. Many health sources in the U.S. explain this in simple terms. If the risk isn't high enough, aspirin's benefit doesn't outweigh what it can do to the stomach and intestines. That's why doctors now avoid giving it as a just-in-case pill. The important thing to remember is that aspirin isn't good or bad. It's simply something that needs to be used with purpose. And for most seniors, the real foundation of heart protection doesn't come from medication. It comes from everyday habits that strengthen the whole system. Stable blood sugar keeps the arteries calmer. A healthy weight reduces the strain on the heart. Gentle daily movement improves circulation far more than many people think. Even simple habits like slower meals, staying hydrated, and getting enough sleep make a real difference in how the heart handles stress. For anyone unsure whether aspirin is right for them, small steps can help right away. Writing down everything you take, checking labels for hidden blood thinners, or asking your doctor whether plaque is actually present instead of assuming it might be. These practical actions give you more control and prevent unnecessary risks. And once we understand when aspirin has a clear purpose, it becomes easier to see why lifestyle matters even more. That brings us to the next point: the truth about daily habits and why they protect your heart better than any pill ever could. 1. The lifestyle truth that matters more than any pill. The most important message that kept showing up throughout all the research is this: no pill, not aspirin or anything else, can replace the daily habits that truly protect your heart. Medication can help in certain situations, but it can't take the place of the small, steady choices your body needs every day, especially after 60, when everything becomes a bit more sensitive. Heart experts across the U.S. often describe it in simple terms. Your arteries respond directly to how you live. When your blood sugar stays steady, the walls of your arteries stay calmer. When you get restful sleep, Your heart rhythm becomes more stable. When you move your body a little each day, even just gentle walking, circulation improves and inflammation settles down. Over time, these small habits do far more for your long-term heart health than relying on a pill to cover unhealthy patterns. A woman from North Carolina named Linda once talked about this in an interview. For years, she believed her daily aspirin was the main thing protecting her heart. But she still felt tired, her legs felt heavy, and her doctor kept mentioning her rising blood sugar. When she finally shifted her routine to short walks after meals, more vegetables, and cutting down on late-night snacks, she noticed improvement within weeks. Her experience showed something many seniors discover later than they'd like. The heart responds more to everyday choices than to any single medication. If you're wondering where to start, the habits that help the most are often the simplest. One serving of leafy greens helps calm inflammation. Drinking water throughout the day supports blood flow. 10 minutes of slow walking after lunch or dinner can help manage blood sugar. Turning off screens a bit earlier makes sleep deeper and steadier. None of these changes requires huge effort, but each one supports the heart in a meaningful way. And once we accept that lifestyle is the foundation, it becomes easier to understand the bigger picture, how aspirin fits in, how it helps some people but not others, and why daily habits still matter more than any prescription. Now, let's bring all of this together as we move into the conclusion of the video. Thank you for staying until the end. After everything we discussed, the real takeaway is this. Aspirin can help some people by reducing clot formation, but it can also increase bleeding risks, especially as we age. It's a tool that must be used carefully, not automatically. If this breakdown made things clearer, please like the video, subscribe for more senior-friendly health tips, and comment below, do you think aspirin is used too casually today? And if you share this useful knowledge with friends, they will truly be grateful.